Indiana 16. Yeah. What? Indiana 16? Really? Guess I'm doing this. Alright, as you may have been able to tell by the thumbnail, Indiana 16 might be the dullest road in the country, nay, the world. It never goes above 2 lanes, it has 0 stoplights, and it doesn't hit any cities with more than 2,000 people. Let's take a look. It'll be fun, I swear. So Indiana 16 goes from a junction with US 41 to a junction with Indiana State Highway 5 near Huntington, Indiana. Alright, let's talk about eastbound Indiana 16. So here is the western end of Indiana 16 where it meets US 41, as we saw in the US 41 video, and we see US 41 is going straight, Indiana 16 turning left. Aid is just some random rural road down there that's not Indiana 16, and we turn left for Brook and Monon, which are the 2 biggest cities on Indiana 16, believe it or not. Here is the actual crossing. US 41 does not stop. Indiana 16 traffic does. 16 shall turn right as this is coming on the other way on US 41 coming northbound. And we get our first reassurance shield, east, Indiana 16. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about highways and the places that they're signed to go to. If you dig this kind of content, why not give us a like? And if you really like it, why not subscribe? Yeah, subscribe. I bet this one will win over a lot of people. Alright, here is our first mileage sign on Indiana 16. We see Brook is 4 miles away and Monon is 29. And now we enter the city of Brook. They've got this nice brick and stone welcome sign. Here is downtown Brook, pretty much the extent of the whole city. We are out of Brook, and we are getting a little curve and a little bit of tree action here. When I used to drive on this road, this was the most exciting part of Indiana 16 that one would pass. Oh, look at the scenery and the curves. Wow, this was super exciting. So, full disclosure, I used to take this road back in the early 90s. I'd take this road with my grandparents sometimes when we were coming from Chicago to go to Indiana Beach. It was a back road that they liked to take. You know, this is the end of summer, so this is the last sort of summer road trip thing. This is also the road that I, when I was 15, had driven the most from, because I drove all the way from the US 41 junction to Monon before my grandparents took over, because, you know, there was more traffic then and I didn't really know how to drive. So, Indiana 16 is an easy road to try to learn to drive on. This is pretty much what it looks like throughout its length. We're meeting State Highway 55. Right past 55, we get this no access I-65. I've never seen that anywhere else, but that is a pretty pathetic sign because you think you're going to have an I-65 interchange, but no, nothing. Monon on the top line, 22 miles away, and Royal Center, 44. I feel like Buffalo should be on the bottom line there over Royal Center. There's not much to Royal Center. We cross I-65, we can see our lack of access to it. We're meeting US 231, so straight ahead is Monon, turn right for Remington, where you'd meet US 24, and left for Rensselaer, where you can get to I-65, or right around there. 231's intersection has been upgraded to a 4-way stop. I'm pretty sure it was 2-way when I was on this road last, which, again, was a long time ago. And now we get another sign, Monon 14, Royal Center 36. We cross the Monon railroad tracks, as Monon is known as a railroad town, the Monon line. This is it right here. And welcome to Monon, population 1,748, and the most thriving metropolis we shall see in this episode. We're going to be meeting 421, and 421 goes to Reynolds if you turn right where it meets US 24, and then goes conjoined with US 24 into Monticello. Michigan City if you turn left where 421 will end. And here is US 421, the actual stop sign, and wow! It's been upgraded to a 4-way stop as well. Still not a stoplight-worthy intersection, but this is as close to thriving Monon as we come. So let's take a look south on 421. This is downtown Monon. We've got the old Monon Theater here, and Monon's stoplight is just a bit further down, although it is not with Highway 16. 421, I was actually thinking of doing US 421 at some point, but upon further review, really I'm only interested in it between Monticello and Michigan City, and beyond that, I don't have that much interest in it, and it has a whole lot of North Carolina. So check out the Derpogs videos on 421. I'm probably never going to touch it. That central downtown Monon was requested by me. It's not actually on Indiana 16. You can make requests on the Patreon. We've got an all request episode coming up shortly, so requests are still open for that. You can also make requests the old-fashioned way by doing a $5 super sticker on any episode. You can make a comment on this episode and put a super sticker, and I'll get your request sorted. Thanks so much for those of you who do both. Really appreciate it. All right, coming out of Monon, now we're getting Buffalo 9. Buffalo shows up for the first time, and Royal Center 22. This is Street 75E. It connects to the old Monon Road that you could have gotten from downtown Monon that heads toward Lake Shafer, right near where my grandparents' place used to be. So this is almost certainly the extent of Indiana 16 that I have ever driven. We see just ahead Lake Shafer is going to be to the right. And we see on this map here, the Tippecanoe River, I guess, could be considered Lake Shafer at this point. It is one and the same. So that takes you over to West Shafer Drive, and that goes all the way down to Indiana Beach. Yeah, more than corn in Indiana. After swinging to the north, we are going to be meeting Indiana 39, our second state highway junction, and kind of a more substantial highway, and we are going to be concurrent with that by turning right. Buffalo and Monticello and Royal Center turn right for all three. We are now concurrent with 39, so we're getting Monticello and Royal Center on the map together. Weird to see Monticello on a 16 sign. And here we cross the Tippecanoe River. I think it's just a bit north of where Lake Shafer actually starts at this point. And now we are going to meet Indiana 119, and we will leave Indiana 39 and become concurrent with 119 right on the outskirts of Buffalo. Here is our second concurrency, and I believe 119 ends in Buffalo there, so I'm not sure why you'd even run it to this point. And now we will split from 119. 119 will be independent, I believe, for the first time, and we will continue on our independent route by turning right. The choices are the huge towns of Winnemac and Royal Center. We're in Royal Center, and wow, we got a old railroad right-of-way converted to a bike path, so that's pretty cool of a thing for Royal Center, Indiana to be doing. In Royal Center, we're going to be meeting US 35, and we've got the choice between Logansport and Winnemac once again. So Logansport, like 20 miles away from Monticello, but for whatever reason, I guess you drive to the point where you drive and then you don't know what's beyond. So I've driven in Monticello, Monon, Reynolds, these cities 43 million times, but I have never once been to Logansport. It's 20 miles away, got no idea what it's like over there. Here is the actual stop sign with US 35. I believe US 35 traffic does not stop here. 12 mile 14 and a long distance Huntington at 58 miles away. We're now going to be meeting Indiana 25, and it's going to Logansport as well. There's a lot of roads there. And Rochester if you turn left. US 31 is a divided highway, and traffic does not stop for the likes of lowly Indiana 16. Shortly after meeting US 31, we get to the town of Denver. Outside of Denver, we meet Indiana 19, and we are going to be joining that by turning left. And we are not with 19 for long, then we turn right to continue down west Indiana 16. Rowan, 6 miles away, important enough to stand alone apparently. And here we are in Rowan. This is what the gas station is looking like right now. Seems like a place with a lot of potential, this gas station. Wonder what it used to be. Ah, Todd's Corner. All right, yeah, it's a great name for a gas station. Heading out of Rowan, we're going to be hitting State Route 15, which has the choice of Warsaw and Wabash. And now Huntington is back on the map, Huntington 20. It's a little weird they signed Huntington 58 back where we were before, because there are actually faster ways to get to Huntington from that point than staying on 16. Indiana 13, where we have a choice of Sydney and Wabash. The end of Indiana 16 here at Indiana State Highway 5. Turn right for Huntington and left for South Whitley. Here is Indiana 5. They do not stop, but we do, so that is the end of Indiana 16. All right, let's take a look at Westbound Indiana 16. So here's what it looks like coming off of Indiana 5. We're a little ways outside of Huntington. Indiana 5 actually goes into Huntington and 16 doesn't. Huntington is by far the biggest city that 16 goes near, but we don't actually go in. So we are going to turn left for 16. And heading the other way, we are looking at where 16 is going to be starting. This is coming from southbound Indiana 5. Urbana is what is signed. Urbana. Urbana is all we get. We never even saw any signs for Urbana on Indiana 16, and its population is 157. Why would you pick Urbana? Wow. We get a nice Begin West Indiana 16 sign right here. Hey, and I've just got to say, I know this video is not going to do numbers, so if you're watching right now at this point in the video, you're one of the real ones, so I'd like to thank you for that, and I will give you a free request for the all request episode. All you've got to do is email me. My email address is in the description for this video and all over the place. Put the subject line Indiana 16 giveaway, and I will give you one free request. This will be for the first 20 people who send it to me. First 20 people who do it, request is on me. Also, as I'm sure you'd guess, please don't mention anything about this giveaway in the comments. This is just between you and me. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. And going through this section, this is a rare, pretty part of Indiana 16. Quite beautiful. But soon it's back to status quo, just kind of fields and whatnot. We're meeting Indiana 15 once again, which is the road that actually goes to Urbana, because Urbana's not on 16. And we don't get a sign for Urbana. Why would you sign Urbana on 5 and then not sign it at the road that actually goes to it? Especially 157 people. Rowan and Denver as our signs after meeting Indiana 15. Rowan has one tourist site, the Rowan Covered Bridge, so this is what it looks like. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that city name right. It's hard to find how to pronounce these very small towns. US 31, once again, the largest road other than 41 that we meet. On 31, we get a choice of Denver and 12 Mile. Denver I get, but 12 Mile, just start signing Monon now. When we meet Indiana 25 further down on the other side of Denver, now we are getting Monon signed, so that's good. 12 Mile and Huntington the other way. And back in Royal Center with US 35 for turning left onto 16, we do get Monon signed. Back in Buffalo, we are going to be meeting Indiana Highway 39 once again, which apparently is Detour West 24. We get Monon right, Monticello left. And here is where 39 will split off from us, so we're getting Monon left and North Judson right. I've actually been on 39 all the way up to just north of LaPorte. 421 about to meet Indiana 16, and on 421 we get Reynolds straight ahead, Buffalo to the left, and Brook to the right. And on 231 we get Monon for eastbound and Brook for westbound, Remington straight ahead. And at 231, that's where we get our no access 65 going in the westbound direction. Here is what Indiana 16 looks like on I-65, just the bridge, SR 16. And we head back into Brook. I wasn't going to show it this way around, but it is the second biggest city that we pass through. We are getting back to US 41, so we see to turn left, we get Kentland, and right, Hammond and Willow Slough. Why not Hammond in Chicago? And here is where we actually meet US 41. We get an end Indiana 16 sign, so that's nice of them. And we see that road straight ahead is not Indiana 16. That is not state maintained. And that is the road that goes to Aid. All right, let's take a look at Todd's the way it should be for Indiana 16. I'm going to say eastbound Indiana 16 should be Monon from the jump, Buffalo, Royal Center, 12 Mile, Denver, Rowan, and Huntington. The reason I'm not putting Huntington earlier, like I said, is because there are better routes to Huntington up until you get to Rowan. Up until that point, there's always a faster way to Huntington. Westbound, I would sign at Monon from the jump. It is the fastest way from Indiana 5 to Monon, and Monon is the biggest city. After that, Brook, and then finally US 41, because it meets US 41 in the middle of nowhere. Sign it 8, I guess, if you want to, because that other road goes beyond it, but nobody's taking that road. Everybody's turning on US 41. All right, thank you so much for watching this episode of Control City Freak. This is a ridiculously boring road, but it's one still kind of near and dear to my heart, and I have good memories of it. So if you don't think it's the dullest road, good on you. This will end the summer type stuff. We are doing US 40 and football next week because the Chiefs will take on the Ravens. US 40 goes to both. So we're going to Atlantic City to Kansas City on US 40. Requests for that are closed by the time you see this. Until next time, my name is Todd, and keep on trucking.